Titans, we ask for your supernatural wisdom as we make some tough decisions in this meeting. Help us to carefully consider the relevant information that has been gathered. May those sharing information give us pertinent points we all clearly understand. Help us to be innovative as we brainstorm solutions. Help us to wisely evaluate our options, considering the pros and cons, and help us to be unified in making the best possible decisions and to effectively carry them out. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Doug Brown.
Here.
Steve Dorchenez.
Present.
Megan Bryant. Kathy Driscoll. Randy Mitchelson.
Here.
Jim Olive.
Present.
Christopher Teddy.
Present.
Jeremy Wilson.
Present.
We have 6 aldermen present. We have a quorum. Tonight we'll start off with the recognition of Honorable Sergeant Nelson, Medal of Honor by the Illinois Police Association.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. Ladies. This is Kenny Winslow, he's the Executive Director of the Illinois Police Association. Kenny does a lot of good work for us. He's the one that fights for us, these new laws that are coming forward, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Chief. Again, my name is Kenny Winslow. I'm the Executive Director for the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, and one of the privileges I get in this job is to go around and recognize the quality work that's done by police officers in the state. Each year, we put out nominations for Officer of the Year, Medals of Valor, Life-Saving Awards, etc. It's my privilege this year to be here tonight to represent Sergeant Nelson with the Medal of Valor. Every day, good quality work goes on around the state. And with that said, it's hard to choose winners of certain awards, etc. But when an officer puts his life on the line every day and exemplifies heroism, bravery, and courage in the light of imminent danger, it's an honor just to come and recognize these folks. So, without any further ado, I'd like to say a few words. Sergeant Nelson, please come forward. For your commitment to bravery and excellence in law enforcement, this special recognition honors your heroic efforts from an incident that occurred on January 4th, 2024. Sergeant Nelson was responding to a call to arrest a suspect for violation of order of protection. This sometimes routine arrest took a life-threatening turn when the suspect fled and the pursuit ensued. The offender then attacked Officer Nelson, striking him near his carotid artery with a box cutter, inflicting a deep laceration. Despite his serious injury, Officer Nelson continued to pursue the assailant until he was subdued. For your courage and bravery, we present you the Medal of Valor. You are a model for law enforcement officers, and your efforts have made Illinois a safer place. Sergeant. Anybody else?
Okay, we will award the outstanding performance to Kyndra Durbin, promoter of the Deputy Chief for the Police Force.
I'm Officer Grove, Taylorville Police Department. This is one of my sorors for the Florida Post. She got to spend a week long with the Illinois State Police Academy and did some training with that. And due to her training, we're going to promote her to Deputy Chief from Lieutenant. Will her dad please come up and help her?
Kyndra, here's a plaque for you. This is thanking you for your outstanding dedication to police chiefs. Sorry, police chiefs. That's me. Dedication to the Taylorville Police Explorer Program. And congratulations on being promoted to deputy chief. Now, how many languages do you talk fluently? Very bright young lady, so congratulations to you.
Congratulations, Kyndra, and an awful lot of round of applause for the other explorers. They do a wonderful job. Omnibus vote designation. Motion to approve by Alderman Skoltedi, second. Alderman Dorsones, questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Motion carries 6-0. Minutes of the regular meeting held July 1st, 2024. Minutes of the special finance committee meeting held July 1st, 2024. Minutes of the emergency services committee meeting held July 3rd, 2024. Minutes of the personnel meeting held July 3rd, 2024. Minutes of the Lake and Airport Committee meeting held July 11th, 2024. And minutes of the Water Committee meeting held July 11th, 2024. Motion to approve the minutes by Alderman Brown, second. Alderman Mitchelson, questions or comments? Roll call.
Randy Mitchelson.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve the appropriation ordinance amount of $42,291,415. Motion by Alderman Mitchelson, second.
Second.
Alderman Brown, questions or comments? Roll call.
Jim Brown. Oh, I'm sorry. Jim Olive. Let's go with Jim Olive. Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown. Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Randy
It's nice to get a
Mitchelson.
vote, yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
We don't have to do that one?
Motion to approve funding for the Veterans Parking Lot. The total cost will be split between Ward 4 and the Street Department. Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second.
Second.
Alderman Brown, questions or comments? Roll call.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve advertising for bid the Veterans Parking Lot. Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second. Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve to resubmit the application for the ITEC grant. Motion by Alderman Wilson, second.
Second.
Alderman Olive, questions or comments? Roll call.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Randy
Yes.
Mitchelson.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve or accept the bid for Springfield Road from E.L. Pruitt Company in the amount of $1,297,659. Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second. Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? Roll call.
Doug Brown.
Yes.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve, accept the bid for the well improvement upgrades from Clocker Construction Company in the amount of $646,724.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Mitchelson, second.
Second.
Alderman Brown, questions or comments? Roll call.
Steve Dorsones.
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Chris Teddy.
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Doug Brown.
Motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve the decommissioning plan and restoration requirements, performance and payment bond concerning the GSI Group LLC, Sol America Energy LLC, Sol America One LLC, and SAE Taylorville, Illinois S1 LLC, as revised by the city attorney. Motion to approve? Alderman
Mr.
Skoltedi.
Mayor, can I,
Hold on.
Mr. Mayor, can I speak to that?
Let's get a motion first, then you can speak.
Well, I'm gonna suggest a revised motion, so I'm interrupting you.
Pardon?
I was gonna suggest a little bit of a revision to that motion based upon, recent documents I've read from the beginning.
Okay, well, let's get a motion, then we can speak all you want. Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second. Is there a second? Second, Alderman Wilson. Questions or comments? Comments, City Attorney Rocky?
Yes, okay. What this relates to is, I'm getting some feedback, but if you recall back in 2022, you adopted an ordinance which you granted a special use permit for GSI Group, LLC, and also to Sol America Energy LLC. We just learned recently that they have made some assignments and conveyances Sol America Energy has to two other entities, two other LLCs. So the long and short of it is, under your special use permit in that ordinance, they're required to do a couple of things, to provide for you a decommissioning plan, which I believe the most recent copy you should have received by an email this afternoon. It was called the decommissioning plan to July 2024. It has some additional language that I requested under the financial assurance clause under section 4.6, which they did. And also they suggested, their engineers suggested that the current estimated cost for the decommissioning is going to be $150,510. So with that being said, I prepared a decommissioning plan, the restoration requirements, performance and payment bond, which is required by your ordinance and required by your city code. And if you look at, I don't know if you've got it in front of me now, but if you look at the paragraph 6, what I did was to say that the principal would be all three entities, Sol America Energy LLC, Sol America Illinois LLC, and SAE Taylorville, Illinois S1 LLC. And the company you initially dealt with is the parent of the Illinois LLC, who is in that Illinois LLC is the parent company of Sol America Illinois, SAE Taylorville, Illinois. So I'm having them represent that, having them to represent that the SAE, the Taylorville, Illinois S1 LLC, is the one who's going to end up owning the solar energy facility that they like to build on the GSI property. But then all three entities are going to jointly and severally agree and assume all the operators' duties, liabilities, and obligations under your ordinances and your Taylorville City Code restoration requirements and that decommissioning plan. And they've agreed to that late this afternoon. So the form that I sent out to you late this afternoon, that is the decommission, that is the performance and payment bond. I would recommend that you approve this evening. If you don't have any questions about that, then I would suggest the motion would do a couple of things. It would be a motion to approve the decommissioning plan dated July 2024, and to approve the decommissioning plan or restoration requirements, performance and payment bond concerning Sol America Energy LLC, Sol America Illinois LLC, and SAE Taylorville, Illinois S1 LLC. They understand that if under their power purchase agreement, that at some point in time, GSI may be given the opportunity to buy that solar energy facility. If and when that should occur, they understand that the GSI would have to come forward and give you folks a performance and payment bond. But I think the documents that I've sent out this afternoon are in good order, and I would ask that that motion be adopted.
All right. Is that the motion you made?
That's my motion.
Yeah. Second?
Second.
All right, the amended motion, so roll call.
Jeremy Wilson.
Yes.
Chris Skoltedi.
Yes.
Jim Olive.
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson.
Yes.
Steve Dorchenez.
Yes.
carries six.
I just want to point out, Mr. Mayor, that when you just adopted that motion, that decommissioning plan incorporated that estimated decommissioning cost of $150,510. So in effect, you're approving that as well.
Correct, thank you. Motion to bid or advertise the clerk one position in the city clerk's office. The union has approved to post the position for 5 days.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Skoltedi, second.
Second.
Alderman Olive, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. City attorney updates. Roger?
Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, and Randy asked me to kind of expand upon it a little bit this evening. I think he wanted some input from the rest of you. I've been sharing with you emails that have been going back and forth with me and the attorney that represents this Skiddich CPAs that are based out of Virginia with the local office in Springfield. When I reviewed they had 3 documents that I was asked to review. One was called the Master Professional Services Agreement, and there were 2 service of work statements that would be incorporated in that agreement. One was for an audit of the city, and one was for a compliance audit of the city. When I looked at that document, I found about, quite frankly, 15 different subject areas that I thought needed to be addressed. It was a one-sided CPA agreement that I don't recommend that the city go forward with. One of the main things is, if I could just briefly comment on, first of all, they wanted Virginia law to apply rather than Illinois law, which would certainly not be acceptable if we want to have them interpret the parties' rights and obligations. It should be Illinois law. Secondly, is that the agreement provided that the SIKICH LLC are not CPAs. There are a different firm that was going to provide services to SIKICH CPA LLC, but they are not accountants, and they're not going to provide any audit or attest services, but they would provide professional services to the CPA firm, and they would also be have access to confidential information of the city. They wouldn't be party to our contract, and if there was any errors or omissions on that other company's part, the city was obligated under the contract to hold them harmless and identify them for any mistakes they would make, including any of their employees or professionals who are not even CPAs. The other big item that I saw was a contractual limitation of liabilities on the CPA. Basically, they weren't going to be liable for any negligence that they performed. And if they had any gross negligence or wrongdoing, intentional wrongdoing, there were limitation of liability. And one part of the contract said it would be limited to the amount you agreed to pay them, which would be $90,000. On another part, it said they weren't going to be liable for anything of those kind of things. And I took exception to that with the attorney and explained to him that, we attorneys can't do that, and our other accountants didn't do that. And he acknowledged that they insisted they wanted this contractual limitation to limit the risk involved. I invite any of you to get on Google and search, and you'll find that federal regulators, and I didn't get a chance to check on my comptroller's office when this report's going to go, but you'll find that those types of limitation of liabilities are considered an unsafe and unsound practice with FICD, and NCUA, and other governmental authorities, because these are supposed to be independent auditors and to do an independent audit of the city. And they take the position that when you have a contractual limitation of liability, it impairs the independence of the CPAs and encourages the fact that they don't need to be as attentive as they should because they have a limitation of liabilities. So if you get online, you'll find that that is not really a good acceptable practice for anybody. The financial institutions absolutely can't do it because of that limitation. You cannot limit the liability. I asked them for a copy, a certificate of professional liability insurance. At one point, they were going to provide it to me, tell me it's forthcoming. but when, at the last, when they decided that they were not going to move on that contractual liability, the negotiations stopped and I never got the policy. Because in addition to that, they had a number of other things. They had stuff in the contract that if when they send emails to this other non-accounting firm or back and forth to you, and for some reason these emails through hacking or through pushing the wrong button goes to confidential information, gets shared with somebody that shouldn't get it, and that third person wants to file a lawsuit, they're not liable. You have to hold them harmless for their own mistake. It made absolutely no sense to me that you even want to consider that. They had things that you had to waive jury trials, any disputes. They asked you to represent that all your vendors, they didn't violate the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control. You guys have got tons of vendors. How in that world are you going to make any kind of a warranty to that and hold them harmless identified unless you contacted each of your vendor and did a search and had them certify to you that they didn't violate that particular statute? It had clauses in there that if you decided that you want to terminate, even though if you wanted to terminate them for cause, you still would have to pay them for their fees and expenses. Again, which didn't make any sense to me. They weren't going to be considered a default for any electronic virus attacks or infiltration of their documents. You would have to agree that this non-CPA firm, even though they didn't sign a contract, that they'd be considered third-party beneficiaries of the contract, they'd be able to enforce it against you, and that they would have a right at any time to assign this agreement to any other CPA firm without your consent. You'd have no input in that. So even though you thought you would select this firm because you know how they sold it to you, if they decided they want to change and send it off somebody else, you would have absolutely no ability to stop that assignment. They required, like I said, mediation, and no jury trials. I didn't get that far to get into it. I mean, I just gave a short email to them, so these are the things I want to talk about. And I sent them a proposal with those revisions and changes, but we got bogged down on this contractual liability situation, so the negotiations stopped. So I spoke with Randy about that. It's my recommendation you don't move forward with it, and that you try to seek out CPAs that will not do that. Because you're going to have these goes to the comptroller's office, and they're supposed to be with audit grants and your records and so forth. You can't have limitation liability, and I just don't recommend it.
All right.
Randy, do you have any other questions?
Nope, I think you explained it perfectly well, thank you.
Okay. With that, the only thing I wanted to mention is that I think Marlon sent on to me Friday, if I'm not mistaken, invoice cloud biller agreement folks have sent back their responses. I didn't get a chance to look at it, Marlon, on Friday, but I will address it in the next day or so and talk with you first before we go forward back to their attorney. That concludes my report. Unless you have any questions.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Mayor update. Thank you to Lindsay Blyler for Journey in July shopping event. It was a great success. Thank you to Mike Mann for all his great work with the July 4th picnic parade and also Journey in July event. Thank you, Mike. Thank you to Jeffrey Ortman and the Lake crew for the July 4th events at the lake. The lake looked great. I'm looking forward to improvements on Springfield Road and also the Veterans Memorial parking lot. Tomorrow starts the 100th annual Christian County Fair. I hope everyone gets a chance to get out to the fair. Mr. Olive is on the fair board and wish us luck in the upcoming fair. Thank you very much. Committee reports. Discussions and/or motions to approve, adopt, and/or deny, and/or table, and/or amend, and/or refer to an appropriate committee in whole or in part the matters regarding the following subject matters discussed at the committee level. Emergency services.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to recommend to the City Council to accept the bid from BICC in the amount of $6,222.50 for paving the parking lot at the fire station. Payment will be issued when the job is completed. Make that a form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second.
Second.
Alderman Wilson, comments or questions? Roll call.
Comment, Mr. Mayor.
Comment.
Can that motion be added, upon execution of the city's form contract that includes prevailing wage requirements and certificates of insurance.
Yes, it may, is that what that was your motion?
Yes, I meant that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rock.
Second, Alderman Wilson?
Yeah.
Correct? Roll call?
Randy Mitchelson?
Yes.
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Chris Teddy?
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson?
Yes.
Doug Brown?
Yes.
Steve Dorsones?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Motion to recommend the city council to approve the purchase of 2 squad cars for the police department, which include costs to transfer equipment and mark the vehicles not to exceed $110,000. Make that in form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Dorsones, second.
Second.
Alderman Olive, questions or comments? Roll call?
Comment, Mr. Mayor.
Comment.
The comment I had is, where are these, you're purchasing these from whom?
Morrow Brothers.
Morrow Brothers out of Greenville, Illinois, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I think the motion should also include the waiver of any requirement of statutory bidding, because it does exceed the 25,000.
And that's what your motion is.
And I'm assuming there's no trading involved here, is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
That's your.
I'll amend that motion.
Mr. Alderman Dorsones, second. Yep. Roll call?
Randy Mitchelson?
No.
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Chris Teddy?
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson?
Yes.
Doug Brown?
Yes.
Steve Dorsones?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-1. Personnel. Megan's not here, so motion to recommend to the city council to approve of promotion of Alex Angel to heavy equipment operator A. Motion by
So moved.
Alderman Dorsones, second.
Second.
Alderman Wilson, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Water Department. Megan, you want to take it over?
Motion to recommend the city council to approve the signing of a new 6-year generator service agreement with Altor for CAT at a cost not to exceed $4,286. I'd like to make that in form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Brown, second.
Second.
Alderman Mitchelson, questions or comments? Roll call?
Doug Brown?
Yes.
Steve Dorsones?
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson?
Yes.
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Chris Teddy?
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0.
Next, motion to recommend the city council to approve the purchase of a hydraulic lift for the water treatment plant at a cost not to exceed $30,000. I'll make that in form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Brown, second.
Second.
Alderman Mitchelson, questions or comments? Roll call?
Comment, Mr. Mayor.
Comment?
I would suggest you add to the motion to whom you're gonna buy this from, and also here again, to waive any, statutory bidding requirement.
Who we buying from,
Stack Equipment.
Stack Equipment? Okay. That Doug's motion and second, Alderman Mitchelson. Questions or comments now? Roll call?
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Chris Teddy?
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson?
Yes.
Doug Brown?
Yes.
Steve Dorsones?
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Next, motion to recommend to the city council to approve the signing of an agreement with Katie Aqua Store to rehabilitate both clear wells at a cost not to exceed $28,920. I'd like to make that in form of a motion.
Motion by Alderman Brown, second. Alderman Olive, questions or comments?
Comment, Mr. Mayor, if we could add to the motion, subject to the execution of the city's form contract that includes prevailing wage certificates, requirements, and certificates of insurance.
Yes.
Wait and see if you're on that one.
Right. And that's your amended motion?
Yes, sir.
Second?
Yes.
Okay, roll call.
Chris Teddy?
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson?
Yes.
Doug Brown?
Yes.
Steve Dorsones?
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson?
Yes.
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Motion to approve or ratify payment of bills, $453,399.52. Motion by
I'll make that in form of a motion.
Alderman Mitchelson, second.
Second.
Alderman Skoltedi, questions or comments? Roll call?
Steve Dorsones?
Yes.
Randy Mitchelson?
Yes.
Jim Olive?
Yes.
Chris Teddy?
Yes.
Jeremy Wilson?
Yes.
Doug Brown?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Per subparagraph G, 5 ILCS 120/2.06, This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for any person wishing to address the council on any relevant subject matters concerning the city. The Illinois Opens Meeting Act 5 ILCS 120/1 FC mandates no action shall be taken on subject matters not listed on the agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the subject matter to a future council and/or committee. If anyone wishes to address the council, please provide your name and address, limit your comments or presentation to 3 minutes, and avoid repetitious comments. Anyone out there like to speak to the council? Alderman got anything? Yeah? Seeing none, motion for adjournment? Alderman Skoltevich, second. Alderman Brown, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries to adjourn.